Hi, Urban EDC here. Now, this video is primarily going to be talking about my opinions about what is an Urban EDC knife. First of all, if you haven't noticed already, there's a lot of great reviews on YouTube already about knives. If you look up Nut and Fancy, he basically pretty much reviews knives that are going to be used in a tactical role, more in a combat situation. He also does a couple reviews on some outdoor knives that he likes to use. Custom Tacticals also does a lot of reviews on mostly tactical knives as well. Cutlery Lover, he's great. He does a variety of different reviews. He uses his knives a lot for work, and he works for the mail system, so he does a lot of work with opening mail and packages and stuff like that. He also collects a lot of knives, expensive ones, and he also does his share of outdoor use knives too. And Coltrane is another one who does a lot of good reviews. He just has a bunch of nice knives too. So for the purposes of Urban EDC, for those of you that don't know, EDC stands for Everyday Carry, which is a knife that you would use and carry on your person with you every day. The urban part, in an urban environment, stands for like a high density population. So mostly like in large cities and stuff like that. So the environment you're going to be in is going to be filled with lots of modern amenities. You're still gonna, you're not necessarily going to be using your knife for a lot of rough outdoor tasks like batoning through wood, or you need to make shelters, or use wood to make fires and stuff like that, where a fixed blade might be better for those tasks. Also, the Urban EDC knife is not going to be used for tactical tasks either, where the primary use of those knives are in a self-defense situation. So as an Urban EDC knife, the main use is going to be as a tool. So when you're using knives like that, you're pretty much going to be using them for, like cutlery level, opening your mail packages, your envelopes, or maybe larger packages or boxes, stuff like that. And in the world that we live in today, we also have tons and tons of cable and cords and wires that you might encounter in your everyday life. The knives can also be used for food preparation, and also in an emergency sense, where you might need to cut through your clothing really quickly, or through seat belts and stuff like that. And as a very, very last resort, the knife can be used in a self-defense purpose. So how would you go about choosing a good Urban EDC knife? First of all, you need to consider what type of materials you're going to be cutting through. Like I said, if you look at the material that you use with you every day, it's obviously going to be your clothing, and that's going to be nylon, leather, cotton, whatever, or jeans, right? The other thing is going to be like seat belts, which is going to be a woven material, something like this, which is really, really, really thick. That would be difficult to cut through quickly. Shoelaces, wires, like I mentioned before, rubber bands, all tape, paper, everything that you encounter in your day-to-day life. So what types of knives would be good for EDC? And I think the best way to choose these knives are to use a few guidelines, such as weight, size, deployment speed, deployment method, carrying efficiency, blade shape, and blade steel. All these are different factors that I like to consider when choosing knives. So I'll be doing a review on 2 different knives that I own that I think are relatively good for Urban EDC purposes. Another factor that you might want to consider is that people now, for the most part, may have fears against people who carry knives. And in the knife world, we call these people sheeple. And basically, the term just stands for people who are scared of knives. So taking this into consideration that this knife is going to be used in an urban EDC purpose, where you're either going, you're in college, going to school, or you're working, and you're going to be around lots of people all the time, you want to take this into account. So you don't want to bring out like a super like ninja blade that'll come out and scare people, and then have them call the cops on you, and then you have all these issues to deal with. So in my reviews, I'll be covering different types of knives that I think are good for urban EDC purposes. Thanks for your time.